Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for your presence and for your enthusiasm, and most importantly, in many respects, for your time. Time is our most valuable resource. Once we give it, we actually don't get it back. It's a responsibility that I take very seriously. Thank you so much for that gift. And I promise that I'll do my absolute best to make sure that I honor it by giving you tools, techniques, and strategies that you can actually use for your own betterment and to up your own game moving forward. So, what is today going to be all about? Today, let's just ask you this. Have you ever spoken in front of people and then seen them drift off? Maybe you've seen them actually get up and walk away. Maybe in the middle of speaking, somebody actually turned to their neighbor and decided they wanted to have another conversation. Yeah, I know. I've been in all those situations myself. Well, what today is about is I'm going to be really sharing with you the tools, techniques, strategies, and different ways to make sure that you're always engaging the listener, to make sure that you always have their full attention. Ways to make your education not just a bunch of bullet points, but actually fun so that your attendees actually want to be there with you. It's not a have to, it's a want to. And that all the time while they're learning, it'll be disguised as actually fun, which actually makes the learning process so much better because it will engage all of the listeners and all of your attendees. And get this, here's the bonus, is it actually helps the retention of information. All right. Now, nothing is worse than having all of your attendees walk away from one of your events and actually like a week later, they don't remember it even happened. Right. And the techniques, strategies, and things that I'm going to be sharing with you are definitely going to help that retention rate so that the gifts that you give all of your attendees upon the sharing last for a lifetime and they can pay them forward. So my name is Yurish. I do a lot of different things. But I think what's most important, within my role as founder and CEO of Yuri Style and with my many different contracts that I have, in actually developing education for haircutting, facilitation trainings, business development, and personal development. And I have to tell you, the beginning of my journey was really tricky, actually, when I began facilitating. I was definitely more of a presenter. It was a stand and deliver. I didn't really honor that people had their own needs in my classes. I knew that I had a message I wanted to share. I wasn't so concerned with I wasn't so concerned with me sharing actually what they wanted to learn. I wanted to share with them what I wanted them to learn, which is two very different experiences. I have to tell you, it was really hard. It winds up with a lot of talking, a lot of trying to be witty, cracking a couple of jokes here and there. And I have to be honest with you, it was a real struggle to keep everybody's attention. I could see them getting tired. I could see them getting bored because they were just sitting there and not participating. They were sitting there without actually engaging in the activity. They were sitting there just listening rather than doing. And I got to tell you, I moved forward. I had to change the game, and a couple of major mentors helped me see education in a whole new way. They showed me that so much of education had to deal with personal development. How do you prepare to actually speak to a number of people, attendees, whether it be a salon of 10 or whether it be a room of 300? How do you speak to them? See, I even catch myself here. How do I speak with them? Yeah, big difference. Right? Because I don't want to do a lecture series. I discovered that what I want to do is facilitate a conversation where actually, as adult learners, wow, you're already professionals. What do you know already? And how do I bring that out of you? Rather than try and cram more information into your mind. Let's celebrate your brilliance. Let's celebrate your knowledge. And let's grow on top of that. I have to tell you, I took classes, I read books, I took it on the road. I tried every new technique. Sometimes I failed, but I'll tell you what, after real diligence, years of study and years of actual practice, I found out the ways to truly engage with any audience, to make them a part of the learning process and not observers of the learning process. And I actually learned how the secret behind all of the attendees retaining all of the information that was shared. I have to tell you, it was such a relief because honestly, when you facilitate a conversation, it's something that has its own energy, right? I say a bit, then you say a bit, then maybe we work together. Maybe I share a technique. Maybe I have you share the technique. Maybe I give you some coaching, right? As opposed to all of that being just on me and trying to be a showman to you and give you just a superficial knowledge of the information. Actually, I learned how to really deliver it and really share it in a more meaningful way, in a way that people walked away from my events really excited about what they've learned, and with the tools, the solid tools, strategies, the coaching, the mentoring, that allows them to actually build upon the greatness that is already within them, right? I'm rarely creating diamonds from coal. Oftentimes, I find I'm just polishing diamonds so that they can reveal their true brilliance. And that, after everything is done, I'll tell you, I'm now able to speak to any group of any size, small, medium, or large, intimate, big stages. And I'll tell you, some of the things that I know for sure, because I've been told it, is that no matter what, I always make everyone in the room feel as though I'm speaking directly to them. Another thing that I've been told is that every time that I share, I make education fun. The learning process is fun. It's not a laborious taking notes all the time and just listening and trying to keep up. And I've been told, oh my God, thank you so much. I've been listening so much. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to actually do during your workshops, so that I'm not just absorbing theory, but I'm actually learning real practices that can put to immediate use. That's been my journey within this field of education and my learning process through it. All right. Now, before we get the day started, I'm not much for rules, but I am one for organization, because when you want to value people's time, the fact of the matter is, you have to have some kind of a setup so that we can all respect each other, so that we can all learn and grow together. So do me a favor. Let's make sure we reach in our pockets and turn our phones on silent. Here's the deal. You don't have to put them away. Just keep them on silent. As I said before, I thanked you for the gift of time that you gave me. I don't know what you walked away from. Maybe you have a sick child at home. Maybe somebody's fixing your roof. Maybe the cable guy's coming. I don't know what's happening. You know what I mean? Here's what I do know. Those are vital pieces of business that are relevant for your life, and I want to respect that. Just do me a favor. If you get any of those texts or that phone like silently rings, and it's important business that you need to address, I invite you to just please step outside of the room, take all the time you need, come right back in. It'll be like nothing ever happened. Does everybody agree? Awesome. All right. Next, let's make sure that we keep our minds open. Listen, am I the only one in this room that knows how to speak to people? Am I the only one in the room that knows how to make people feel special? Am I the only one in the room that can transform an educational journey that can be tedious into a total adventurous journey of total fun? You want to know what? No, I'm not. All right. I know that each and every single one of you have these tools and techniques within you. All right. What I do bring to the table is that I'd like to say that, oh, wait, here, check this out. There's an assassin in this room. You want to know its name? Everybody lean in. Everybody lean in. Its name is, I already know that. The second you say that, you've stopped your journey in growth, and you stopped your learning journey as well. So when you're about to say that, always remember this part. Keep your minds open, because everyone in this room knows something you don't, me included. So it doesn't make my way the right way. It makes my way an additional way. I'm not trying to replace any of those tools in your tool belt. All I'm trying to do is give you some to add, so that you can be that much stronger of a presenter, that much stronger of a facilitator, so that everyone can get all of the gifts that you share with them, not just pieces, and they have fun while they're doing it. Can I get an agreement to that? Fantastic. Another thing I'd like to say, let's stay present. Listen, you're really busy. You might have just been shopping. You might have spent the weekend with your homies and everything was super fun. Got it. All right. The one thing I would ask, though, is let's put all of those things aside. Let's put yesterday's fun or the shopping spree to the back burner right now, and let's be fully present to this experience, so that we can really learn and grow from every piece of information that's shared, not just from me, but from everybody out there as well. This is a conversation. I don't strive to do a lecture series, all right? And a conversation can only happen when everyone in that conversation is fully present. Can I get your commitment to be fully present in this time today? Incredible. Thank you so much. Another thing that's super, super important as we share, because this is what this is going to be about. I'm not going to be telling you a lot of stuff. I'm going to be working with your shares, working with your experience so that I could give you the gifts that you need, not the ones that I want to give you, two different things. All right. So the one thing I would ask is let's make sure that we honor one conversation. Listen, if we're talking about audience engagement over here, do me a favor. Don't talk about retention of information over here. Listen, we're going to get to both things. Let's just talk about one at a time so that we can learn and grow the most from each topic and we can get the most participation and the most insights and gifts on each from everyone present in this room. And then we can make sure that we're getting the most out of all of the elements that we share. So let's not overtalk each other. Can I get everyone's commitment that we're all going to honor one conversation throughout this workshop? Fantastic. Lastly, and I think this isn't lastly, it's second to last, all right? But here's what I would say too. You want to know the biggest secret of education? Bring it in again. Bring it in. I don't like to yell secrets. Right, great, fantastic. Here's the secret. Education isn't given, it's gotten. I can be up here teaching the class of the gods, but if you don't participate in it, you're going to think it sucks and you're not going to get anything out of it. So here's the deal. Participation in your education, coming to get it, being fully present, sharing your insights, asking those questions, giving your opinions. Maybe you disagree. I don't care. The fact of the matter is, I want to expand the conversation. I have yet to actually facilitate an event that I haven't learned from. Because as I said, I'm up here just in this position. All of you are amazing artists. All of you are amazing at the skills and techniques and the roles in which you play. All right? I'm just striving to add to that. I'm striving to open up a broader conversation so that I'm not creating diamonds, I'm just polishing them up. All right? And so with that said, can I get everyone's commitment today that from this moment on, you will participate 100%? Can I get everybody's commitment? All right, I'm gonna hold you to it. And lastly, and I think this is one of the most important elements in education, when it comes down to it, contrary to a lot of the traditional education that we might have experienced thus far, either in adult education, definitely in high school, frequently in college, in elementary school, who the hell knows what's going on anyway, right? I can tell you, though, and this is very important, and if this is the only thing you walk away from this entire training, it'll be worth the cost of admission. Please always remember to have fun, because learning is fun. And when you position it that way, and when you open up that type of environment, actually everyone gets so much more from the experience, and they retain so much more of what was shared. And even better, the people in your room, they grow deeper relationships, and broader connections. And ultimately, that's what education is all about. So can I get your agreement that we're all gonna learn, grow, and have fun together today? Get your hand up. Thank you so much. Now, something I want to check in on. What's your intention for the day? Okay? Because here's the deal. I have a lot to share with you all today. Yeah? A lot. I have a whole plan. I have an entire format going on. All right? Now, here's the deal. That's my format, but this isn't my event. Actually, this is your event. So what I'd like to check in on is, given what we're going to be sharing today, what are some of the reasons that you came here today? What do you need from this event? Because I want to hold myself accountable. Because as I said, you give me your time, and I want to make sure that you walk away with the gifts that you came here for. Sound good? Cool. Let's get those hands up, and let me write down some of these answers so that I could post them on the back of the room, and I can hold myself accountable that by the end of this program, every single person here has gotten all the gifts that they came here for. All right? Awesome. Let's open it up, yeah? And that is a full opening from beginning to end. I did my welcome, all right? The welcome, right? Well, thank you for your presence. Thank you for your enthusiasm. And thank you for your time. Thanking people for their time is so, so very important, because really when they come to our events, or when they're present for our facilitations and attendees in our classes, they stepped away from something to be here. And that's something that's very important. It's a huge gift. Be sure to thank people for that, all right? And that's the first thing you would say, because frequently people's minds can be with what they left. And if you don't acknowledge what they left and thank them for their presence here, It'll be always that little thing that's nagging in the back of their mind as you're moving through the entire rest of your program. Then next, I move into what's in it for you, or the what's in it for me piece, they call it. Yeah. What's today all about? Why are we here? All right. This is super, super important to say right on the outset. Yeah, I did give you your time. And what did I give you my time for? That's going to be the very first question. All right. And once you give them that value, why you're here, you're going to learn this, you're going to learn this, you're going to learn this. We're going to learn and grow to share together. And I'm going to add tools to your tool belt, whatever the case may be. Boom. All right. Now here's the deal. The second that happens, now they're like, there's that little voice that's like, is this really worth my time? All right. And then immediately you've thanked them for their time, right? Now I'm telling you what they gave their time for. Ooh, wait a minute. Thank you so much. I'm in here for that. Thank God I invested my time for it. All right. So you shut off that, as we call it, little voice. All right. All these little voices that you close down during your opening are all the little voices that actually cause resistance to the information that you're about to share. Then the next piece of information, who the hell are you and why should I listen to you about this topic? All right. So as you see, I didn't put down a whole resume about all my experience. I do a lot more than what I just shared with you. But here's the deal. I'm here to talk to you about facilitation training. So why would I tell you about the almost 2.5 decades that I've been cutting hair behind the chair and all the hair cutting education I've given and all the techniques I've shared and hair cutting programs I've developed and systems I've developed, because none of that's relevant for today. Right. So what I give you is an overview of who I am, what I do. Right. I design and facilitate education in this arena, and I, own my own private education brand. Got it. Now let's talk about my journey in this particular topic that's relevant for you that we're discussing today. So you can see where I came from, what I've done to improve and address, and after I've improved and addressed it, whoa, what life am I leading now? Right? It's a journey rather than a resume. Tell things as stories. We're going to get into that when I break down creating your content. All right. But when you tell something as a story, it breaks down the resistance to information for people. People love stories. Think about yourself hearing a bedtime story when you were a kid. Leverage that with the people that are in your audience. Leverage that with your attendees. Introduce yourself like a story. Trust me, they'll be more interested in that than your bullet pointed resume. All right. Then after I introduce myself, great. So check it out. I've welcomed you. I thank you for your time. Right. I've told you what today is all about. Ooh, there's the value. Why should you listen to me? I just told you. Right. I told you my base credentials and I told you my entire journey of learning how to do this and what I'm experiencing. Would you like some of that? Ooh, yes, I would. See the little voices again? That sounds great. When do I get to do that? Right. Now, after I have all that, now we can open up the conversation of, listen, this is the way this day is going to go. Because if we don't conduct it this way, nobody's going to walk away with anything. It's going to be like Lord of the Flies in here. People be like tying people up and setting them on fire and chanting and doing whatever they're doing, right? Can't have it, right? So then I break down certain elements, right? How do I get rid of these distractions? And now why this is so important for me to give this code of the class or the rules of engagement or however you want to word it is the fact of the matter is, for me to say, let's keep our phones on silent at the beginning of the program, giving people permission because I know that they gave me their time to address other pieces of business. Just step outside the room, come right back in. No hassle. It's all good. Do what you got to do, right? See, here's the deal. If I don't say, put your ringer on silent, and then I hear dings to the program, and then an hour and a half later, I'm like, listen, can everybody just put their phones on silent? It's like all of a sudden, remember, these aren't 10-year-olds. This is adult education. They'll be like, why are you telling me to do this now? I got business I got to attend to. See, you're always engaging with the secret enemy. And that secret enemy, and maybe that's the wrong word. The enemy, though, I will call it that, is this little voice that there's resistance. I'm already a professional. What do I need you for? I've given my time. Why am I sitting here? I want to be here. Wait. Why can't I check my Insta? Why? All right. Now, here's the deal. When you actually put all of this in your code of the classroom or your rules of engagement, you're able to actually call people on it later, right? If I bring up keep your phones on silent in the front right now, for instance, then when I hear a phone ding, I could be like, wait, everybody, didn't we agree that we were going to keep our phone silent? And then that person could be like, oh, yes, I did. And mind you, something else really, really important. This brings me to this point. Notice how when I was saying each rule, I put my hand up. Remember something, and this is very, very important. You never move forward until you get 100% enrollment and engagement from every single attendee in your room. Because with that hand raise, and notice I demonstrate the behavior I want to see, right? So my hand is up. Do we all agree? So I'm prompting all of the attendees to agree with me. And once those hands are raised, now I can move forward. And now I know that's our agreement. So if our attention strays from our intention while we're in the class, I can bring that attention right back to the intention by reminding them of what we agreed to at the very beginning of the program. And then after that, remember this whole idea that I have so much to share, you sit and receive it. Wait 1 second. Yes, I've done my consultation call. Yes, I've spoken with all leadership. Yes, I've asked them to speak with their team or whoever is in the room or whoever is putting together the event. Like, what do you want to see happen here? Great. And that's 1 or 2 or 3 or 5 leaders who have determined what 10, 25, 50, 75, 100, 150, 300 people want to learn. Guess what? I bet you those 5, 10, 2, 3 people probably missed a thing or two, right? So what I want to make sure is, along with those insights that I walked in here with, so that I could prepare my format for the day, how it'll run, and the various different things that I know I want to share, given all of those things that were shared with me by leadership, I also want to check in with the attendees. Again, these are adults, they're not children. I want to make sure that, what's your intention for coming here? What do you want out of this? You gave me your time. What do you want back for that? And when I'm able to check in with that, and I write it all down, because remember, once it's written, then I put it on the back of the room, so that during the entire course of the program or the workshop or what have you, I'm always looking at it. It's like, oh, there was someone who shared that what they wanted to do was they wanted to learn some conflict resolution techniques for when they have a difficult attendee in the room. Got it. That wasn't something that was shared. Let me make sure that in this portion that I've already designed in format, let me make sure I slip in a little bit of conflict resolution technique, right? So that they get that gift too. You see, you create an in-depth format ultimately for 2 reasons. So that you can be yourself, because it's very hard to be yourself when you're speaking to 10 people, 25 people, 50 people, 150 people, 300 people. It seems like, oh, I'll just go up and be me. No, you won't. Because there's nothing normal about speaking to that many people at one time. All right. So the format actually helps you be yourself while you're in that arena. 2, it gives you a rough guide, because the truth of the matter is your attendees actually forge the road ahead that your event will actually transpire. One of the biggest mistakes, and I know I'm bleeding a little bit into what content will be, but here's a little sneak peek, is one of the biggest mistakes is for me to insist that I go with my format, even though every attendee in the room wants me to go this way, because I didn't put it in my agenda, right? My agenda is a loose roadmap. But in the end, it's the attendees who tell me the exact rights, the exact lefts, the exact time to stop because they might need a drink, and the exact time to run forward because they're super excited about what's to come, right? So always go with the room, and I'll be talking about that all in a minute, all right? I hope you found this useful. Think about all these various different things. Depending on time, your opening, it should be whatever the amount of time of your program. Okay, your opening should be 5% of the time of your program, and your closing should be 5% of the time of your program. So when you're designing your format, don't just be, oh, I'm going to say hi quick and then I'm going to say bye quick. It's like, no, you begin it properly and you end it properly. All right, that's the bookends to the experience. Give them time so that when you begin, you address it correctly. And you make sure that you introduce your content correctly, introduce yourself correctly, and introduce all of the various gifts that you'll all be sharing together correctly, so that people are fully enrolled and engaged in the event that you're facilitating. All right? Make it your own. Don't speak like me. I don't need a million people facilitating openings like I do. But these are the various elements behind them, and those are the reasons why. I hope you found it useful. Play around with it, and I'll talk to you later.